8 poses. Welcome to another one of the critically acclaimed, award-winning, black and white delights reviews of Smackdown. I am, of course, your host, Grumpy Cheeto, bringing you the best of the blue brand. I'll tear things up and tear things down. It all depends on how things go for Smackdown tonight. So, I first off would like to thank my new subscribers, which will be Wrestling News for Life, XX Ninja Goku XX, and Coughlin 000. Two things I'd also like to plug. I'd like to plug the Wrestling Revolution website as usual. Go on there. We've got our web exclusive shows. We also, all exclusively on WrestlingRevolution.com, have our Future Endeavors Club induction ceremony. I'll be there. Bobby will be there. And it's a yearly thing we do with the Unsquared Circle. It's just this year, it's exclusively on WrestlingRevolution.com. All those annoying little vignettes I played a couple weeks ago, for honorary inductees, I'm going to induct them. Well, not me, but Bobby Black is. But, yeah, so go to WrestlingRevolution.com, sign up for our pay-per-view contest, and sign up for all, in the forums, and it's free, it's fun, it's pop-up free, it's just awesome. So anyway, with all that being said, let's jump right into this week's Smackdown.
Get ready for the Smackdown! Get ready for the Smackdown! How you gonna react when you're putting your back now? 'Cause there's no turning back when you're facing the Smackdown!
This week's Smackdown is in my backyard of... I don't think they said where it was. So, moving along. We start off with an opening promo where an opening video promo where Teddy Long is talking about that if Vickie does not win the tag team main event tonight, which is Edge and Kelly Kelly versus Vickie Guerrero and Drew McIntyre, Vickie will be fired. Okay. So, we start that off. We go to the first match of the night, which is Kane versus Rey Mysterio. I gave this match 3 out of 5 Red Rangers. It was actually a pretty decent match for Rey and Kane. I mean, these two guys work really well together. They have had feuds in the past, so they know how to do a decent match on free television. Kane hit a nice power slam on Rey Mysterio from the corner. About mid-match, Kane hit a nice big boot on the outside. I mean, Rey took it in the face pretty hard. For once, Rey did a good job of chopping the Big Red Machine down. Normally they have them dominate Rey, but Rey actually did a great job at chopping the big man down the whole time. I mean, he actually got the advantage by chopping him down, doing the kicks and using his, trying to work his legs out from under him. But in the end, Rey Mysterio had a 619, went for a seating senton, but then Kane blocked it. He just kind of held him in the powerbomb position. And then Rey Mysterio went into a victory roll, went down his back, rolled him up, and got the 3, which is actually kind of surprising. I actually didn't think this was that bad of a match. It was actually a pretty good opener to the show, I thought. So, good job, you guys. 3 out of 5 Red Rangers. After the match, Dusty Rhodes comes out, and we go to commercial break. We come back, and we have an in-ring promo with Rey Mysterio and Dusty Rhodes. And Dusty apologizes for Cody's actions and calls Cody out. So Cody comes out, and Cody and Dusty kind of talk back and forth. It's actually not that bad of a promo. I actually thought it was pretty good. It went a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but I'm not creative. So anyway, eventually Dusty Rhodes convinces Cody Rhodes to apologize. So Cody apologizes to his dad, apologizes to Rey, and then, Rey Mysterio goes to shake hands with Cody, and we think, oh, he's going to hit him? No, he doesn't. So then Rey goes to shake hands with Dusty and gives him a hug, and then Dusty doesn't let go from the handshake. Cody comes up from behind and beats a mess out of Rey Mysterio. I'm kind of glad to see this feud. This feud is original. It doesn't, Rey Mysterio facing a guy who's decent, an average size. Rey Mysterio doesn't get that very often. He doesn't get, he always is facing big guys or guys that are, but Cody Rhodes is not a big guy. He's not even an average guy. He's, kind of small. So it's kind of nice to see these two who are decent workers in the ring who are good at working back and forth. So anyway, I'm glad to see this feud progressing forward. And I'm not too sad about how it's moving. Anyway, we go to the second match of the night, which is Layla versus Rosa Mendez. I give this 1 out of 5 Pink Rangers. Layla took a nice shot at the guardrail on the outside from Rosa, but it was like a 2 or 3 minute match, and then Michelle got involved and got Layla DQ'd. And then afterwards, they show a little bit of dissension between Lay Cool. I don't know. It just kind of was a lame match and a lame ending. I don't know. So it didn't really help the night too much. Alright, so next we go to the third match of the night, which is Kofi Kingston versus Jack Swagger in a 2 out of 5 Yellow Rangers match. It was an okay match. It kind of underdelivered in my opinion. But both guys kind of worked well. Swagger, of course, dominated and worked on the arm that ADR injured on Raw. But really, in the end, Swagger reversed one of Kofi's moves and put him in the ankle lock and got the submission. It was an okay match for these guys. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it didn't really intrigue me very much. Next, we go to a backstage promo with Vickie Guerrero, and, Vickie is backstage knocking on Teddy Long's door, and, Daddy, open up, you can't do this to me. Like every other woman in the world, really. So that's it. Then we recap Raw and Brock and Cena and all this other crap that shouldn't be wasting time on my SmackDown. Seriously. Next, we go to another backstage promo with Vickie Guerrero talking to Chavo Guerrero, and Chavo basically lays the smacketh down on Vickie Guerrero because she basically has been abusing him for the past year and a half, whatever. And Chavo said, "Oh, Payback said, well, you know what." So I'm glad they, didn't make Chavo become a punk. Anyway, so we go to the fourth match of the night, which is Wade Barrett versus The Big Show. It's actually a pretty good match. Wade Barrett, the core was banned from ringside, so Wade Barrett had to fend on his own. This is what I wanted to see in their original match a while ago. And Wade Barrett did a good job. Wade Barrett's a big guy. Standing next to The Big Show, not so big. But Wade Barrett's a big guy. So it was actually really interesting to see how this match played out. And actually, these two worked really well together. This is kind of what I was hoping to see with these two. Was The Big Show going up against a decent, young, big guy wrestler. Not obviously his size, but big enough where he looked credible getting the guy off his feet. So it was actually, I gave it a solid 3 out of 5 Black Rangers. It was actually quite an interesting end, actually. There were some good spots where Barrett kept the Big Show grounded most of the match, which was awesome. But in the end, the Big Show and Barrett were brawling on the outside, and then the ref was counting, and he got to 8. Barrett tried to get back in the ring. Big Show grabbed his foot before he could get all the way back in and pulled him out, and he just flapjacked on the ground. And Big Show jumped in the ring at 9, and then the Big Show won by countout. It was actually a face went over by countout. It was actually really cool. I thought it was. I mean, I didn't see it too much as burying Barrett. It didn't help him too much, but it was a better ending than what I thought. Honestly, I thought when they were brawling outside, one of two things would happen: A, they'd both get counted out. B, Barrett would lead the Big Show up and then kick him in the leg and then run and jump in the ring and get the win via the countout. Instead, the Big Show won via countout, so it was kind of surprising. So I can't really complain. Next, we go to the fifth match of the night, which is the main event, which is Edge and Kelly versus Drew McIntyre and Vickie Guerrero. I gave this a 3 out of 5 Green Rangers. The beginning was like Vickie and Kelly kind of fighting a little bit and all aggressively, and they both suck, so it was nothing. Then Edge and Drew McIntyre got in the match, and the match was actually good. Not much substance to the match. I mean, Edge and Drew McIntyre work very well together. I would actually love to see, after WrestleMania, a program between Drew McIntyre and Edge. I mean, whether Edge is world champion or not, I don't care. I would like to see a program between these two. I think they'd actually do a fairly decent job. In the end, Kelly speared Vickie Guerrero, Edge speared Drew McIntyre, Edge pins Dolph Ziggler, and Vickie Guerrero is fired. After the match, Teddy comes out and celebrates with Edge and Kelly and fires Vickie Guerrero. Vickie Guerrero goes around the ringside going, please help me, please help me. She even goes up to the camera and goes, please help me, I need my job, I need my job. Goes to Booker T, goes to the referee, goes to the cameraman. I mean, it's crazy. So in the end, Edge says he can't help Vickie out, but he feels like singing instead. So then he sings the na 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 na, hey, goodbye. Vickie goes up the ramp and gets all pissed off. And then ADR comes out from behind and beats the mess out of Edge, puts him in that cross arm breaker. And that's really it. ADR showing off strong, and that's the end of the night. I gave the night a probably. I was kind of on the fence. I mean, it was in between a 2 and a 3. I'm kind of gonna make it up on the spot here. I'm probably gonna give it a low 3, just because it wasn't a stellar night. I mean, Ray and Kane was good. Wade Barrett and Big Show was good. Swagger and Kofi was okay, but the women's match sucked. The main event was less than stellar, and they was wasted like 15, 20, 30 minutes on this stupid Raw promo with Cena on The Rock. So, I don't know. That's SmackDown for this week. I am the Black and White Delight Grumpy Cheeto. Go to WrestlingRevolution.com, the Epic Center, for your wrestling needs. And I am